Disclaimer: This episode discusses suicidal ideations and extreme content that may be triggering to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to 8158 Stories of Sacrifice. In this two-part episode, we sit down with Kaegan, a paramedic from Arizona, whose journey is a raw reminder of how heavy this job can be. Part 1 takes us back to the beginning, losing his firefighter father at 18, navigating failed attempts and tough breaks, and stepping into the world of EMS with a heart to serve and trauma already simmering beneath the surface. Kaegan opens up about the nonstop grind of 911 calls, burnout, and the moment it all started to unravel. This isn't just a story of survival, it's about the cracks that form when leadership falls short and how one person's pain can go unnoticed in the chaos. This is Kaegan's story, part 1.
You're listening to 8158 Stories of Sacrifice, where we honor the bravery of the first responders and the families who stand behind them. Real people, real stories, real heroes. This is 8158. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of 8158 Podcast Stories of Sacrifice. Today's guest is we have Kaegan. He is a firefighter, and he has an awesome story to tell. So let's welcome Kaegan to the podcast. Welcome, Kaegan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. So we're just going to get right into it. So we're going to talk about some foundations. So first of all, thank you for being here. And let's start from the beginning. What inspired you to follow your dad's footsteps and serve the community?
So growing up, my dad, he was a firefighter for as long as I can remember. I do know that he was EMS, worked on the ambulance a little bit before I was born. I think actually right out of high school, and he graduated in '86, somewhere around there.
Oh, wow.
So he, him being a firefighter is all I know. All my family knew really of him. So seeing him go to and from work every week was super awesome. I mean, I'd get to go to the station and play on the trucks, and all the guys there were always super cool. I mean, it was like one big happy family, like another family away from his actual family. So seeing that and just seeing the interactions he's had with the public, just being out at the store. I mean, there'd be people who come up to him, "Oh, I remember you. You were here for this," and thanked him and all that. I thought that was just absolutely amazing. So it always just inspired me to want to help people. It wasn't until probably high school that I really was like, yeah, I'll be a firefighter.
Okay.
So, but definitely my dad had the biggest influence and was the main influence for me to pursue this career.
Awesome. Following your dad's footsteps.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad was a rural firefighter when I was a baby. I think he got hurt when I was about 2, and he couldn't do it anymore. So, but he got a job working for the county. He moved to Michigan, and he worked for the county commission for like 33 years, working on the roads. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Yes.
I couldn't. Our trucks be torn up, all the crap that our county workers working on our roads.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So you'd said that you'd lost your dad at 18. How did that moment shape your path in fire EMS and the way that you process grief in your service today?
Well, losing my dad was definitely the hardest time of my life. I mean, I just turned 18 a month prior. I was a senior in high school, so it was supposed to be like this big hurrah, like my last year of school, my last year playing sports. Um, so losing him suddenly, and it wasn't anything that was like we were expecting. It was sudden. He went in for a minor foot surgery, and it didn't come out.
Mm.
But it shaped my path. I mean, one of two things really happens that I've seen, at least in my experience. One of two things happens when you lose your father figure, your mentor, your hero. You either go down a very dark road or you go down a very, very good road, very light road. So losing him, I knew he wouldn't want me to sit around and go down that dark road and just not have interest in stuff. I continued to play sports and paved my own path in order to get to where I am. It definitely kind of solidified my decision to become a firefighter.
Right.
I mean, his entire department was right there with me. They even came to my graduation, and all the guys pitched in and got me or threw me a few bucks as a graduation gift. And I say a few bucks, um, it was a substantial amount of money. Like I can't even begin to tell you how appreciative I was of that at that time. And I still feel like I owe these guys a lot of time and effort. Um, so that right there, I mean, I try and do my best at work, to show the gentlemen that were there for me in my worst time, um, my thanks. Be the best firefighter I can be. Um, so the downside to my dad dying, I mean, other than him passing away, um, he was the first death I really experienced, like first close death. I remember I had a great grandma pass away, but I was like five or six. So I was still pretty young. I understood the concept of death, but it was really just I was very sad at that time, but losing my father and it just being so sudden and being someone who just meant so much to me, I didn't know how to grieve.
Right.
Um, and I mean, I also grew up in a family with my mom and two sisters. So I also felt like I needed to just put on that brave face and brave it all alone. Um, so I didn't grieve. I know I didn't grieve. I threw myself into school. I kept playing my sports. I mean, I was at school. He passed away on a Thursday. I had to stay home or stay in Vegas on Friday for paperwork, stuff, and then I was back in school on Monday. So I was back at work that next week. Um, just grieving just wasn't a thing I knew how to do, and even now, so it even now I don't know really how to grieve. Being in the fire service for almost 10 years now, I've lost a lot of um, empathy towards death. So, I mean, I've had since my dad died, I think I've had 10 other relatives pass away, some close, some not close, but each one, it just kind of, it was sad. I was sad, but just didn't grieve them. Just kind of like, well, they moved on. They're in a better place, and there's that. So I guess if you want to look at me as a human being, kind of makes me a crappy human being that I don't grieve as much. But I welcome the enjoyment, or not the enjoyment. I welcome the feelings that I have
Mhm.
about death, because one, I think it makes me way better at my job, and two, I feel like I can actually focus and be there and be a support system towards family members, friends, towards patients' families.
Mhm.
So I can function. I'm not just distraught and um, unable to think or do anything along those lines.
Right. Yeah, people grieve in their own ways, and it's not necessarily, an emotional grief. And you know, you're not wrong for the way you're doing it. It's just how you cope and how you handle the situation, and obviously, it's making you a better uh, service provider or firefighter or EMS. Dealing with people because you can remove those emotions and do your job without getting involved that way.
Hmm.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Um, so before you became EMT, you were a volunteer firefighter. What do you remember about those early days and how they prepared you for what was ahead?
Oh man, the early days of me, I was like 19, so I was 18 my senior year in high school, and then I got on the fire department of November 2017.
Mhm.
So as a volunteer, little fire department. I mean, there were 7 paid full time guys, a handful of part time paid guys, and then a decent amount of volunteers at the time. And so I remember I was all for it. I mean, I was up at the station whenever I could, um, and it was just like an absolute one of the best times. But I will say that I was stupid, was dumb, and had absolutely no idea what this job was actually going to entail. I mean, I wasn't even an EMT at the time, so um, it was a very fun time. I really enjoyed it. Even now I'll get called or take callbacks, and I'll go up to the station every once in a while, and usually I don't expect any kind of compensation or anything. I just go up there. Um, I kind of set a time limit for myself. We can sign our time cards, but I mean, if I'm up there for 6 7 hours or I'm actually doing something, yeah, maybe I'll throw it on my time card. But I still enjoy just that feeling that I'm here to help my community.
All right.
So, but it was definitely the foundation of the fire service. I mean, I remember my first actual fire, semi fire. It was later in the evening. Get there, and the entire truck is just on fire. I mean, it'd be the most fire I'd ever seen in my life,
Oh,
and
wow.
just that, um, putting my gear on, my heart's racing, and grab the nozzle, and I just start going to work, and it solidified that this is what I want to do. I mean, I kept volunteering. I went on a couple wildland assignments, and it just kept getting better and better and better. Hadn't been too big into the medical side. Um, I mean, they run an average of a call a day, and most of their calls are traffic accidents or brush fires or sick people. So, and their residents are um, of the wealthier and higher status, I guess. So they don't have a whole lot of medical problems. They don't really call 911 unless they need to. So the medical side really just wasn't a big thing and up there at the time. But definitely solidified my path to where I'm at now and set the groundwork for it.
Okay. Uh, let's get into some struggles and setbacks and a little bit of stress. You've talked openly about not passing the national exam the first time and struggling through boot camp. How do you bounce back from those early failures?
Yeah, so um, my senior year in high school, I had enlisted, um, listed in the Marine Corps, left for boot camp a couple months after it, and I ended up getting pneumonia and got super sick and fell out of run. After that, they just kind of one thing led to the next, and I got medically separated from boot camp. So it definitely a crushing blow to myself. I mean, here I am at 18, 19 years old. I think I can take on the world, and I get the very harsh reality very quickly that the world, you can't take anything from it. It's going to take everything it wants from you if you're not careful.
Right.
And boils down to I wasn't careful and failed miserably. And definitely probably my biggest failure in life this far.
Now,
So,
do you know how the pneumonia came about, or
I mean, high stress. I was in the barracks with 90 other guys, wasn't sleeping well. I mean, my immune system was probably depressed. Someone might have came to boot camp with pneumonia, or it. I was around hundreds of other recruits and drill instructors, and though cleanliness is a major thing there, if you're sick, you're sick. I mean, it gets dusty out in San Diego sometimes, and dust can cause you to get pneumonia. Just a bacterial pathogen that messes up the immune system, or messes up the immune system, respiratory system, and the spike of fever and all that. So there's no real way to know, but it just happened, and unfortunately, it happened to me, and one thing led to the next, and I was medically separated.
is that
So, yeah, yeah. But I did come home, and I wasn't giving up on life. I mean, I think I took a month to just kind of sit around and mope around. But after that, one of my dad's old friends, and actually the husband of my old babysitter, um, messaged me one day, and he's like, "Hey, it's too late for the EMT class this semester, but Fire Academy registrations are opening up right now. Put your application in and get in the Fire Academy, and then do your EMT and get on with the fire department."
Mhm.
I was like, okay, cool. And then his son also hit me up and was like, "Hey, come volunteer at the department that I was at, or volunteering at." So I go, I do my application process, and it turns out I am on academic suspension at the college due to classes I took in high school. I was trying to do dual credit classes, and just didn't care and got D's in them, and I was lazy and didn't put all my effort into it, which caused me to technically fail the college portion, and it went on my college record. So I wasn't able to do the fire academy due to how many credits the class actually was. But I was able to hop into the EMT class for the next semester. So I got all signed up and everything. Um, I was all signed up, ready to go, and then went through class. Class was, I wouldn't say it was extremely strenuous or hard. I mean, balancing my home life with my work life and class, that was a little rough. But I passed all my tests. I did fairly well on all my tests. I mean, I did okay in the class. I got an 86 in that class. So I passed the college portion of the class, passed my final, and then took the national. Failed the national the first time, and a couple of my instructors and a couple of friends were like, "Hey, it happens. It's no big deal. Just study up a little more and go take it again." So I did that. Failed it again. So now I'm really just kind of, man, I can't even pass the national for the EMT. And other people have told me like, oh, it's so easy and this, that, and the other. So I'm really just like feeling it, feeling kind of worthless. Like I'm not going to be able to do this job and all that. So it took a little while before I took my third attempt. A little while turned into about a year and a half. So come that time, I had gotten on a wildland assignment, and my captain at the time at my volunteer department was like, "Hey, man, you need to go back through that class. We'll help you out in any way we can." So this time, I really dug down deep and went through the class. This time, the class was a breeze. Still got an 86. But I then took my national and I passed it first try after the second class.
That's awesome.
So, and I didn't just pass it, it cut me off at 70 questions, which means if you pass it at 70 questions, you blew it out of the water.
Right. You got enough right that there's no way you're going to fail it, obviously.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
So, yeah.
That's pretty awesome, man. I'm glad you pulled through and you didn't give up. You stuck it out and you fought through it.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what I'd be doing. Probably nothing fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure. Getting into trouble or something.
Yeah. I've been pretty good at staying out of trouble, but probably still washing trucks.
Yeah. So working 10 to 20 calls a day and dealing with transfers, nonstop stress, what did that environment do to your mental and physical health?
Yeah, so worked for our local ambulance company here in Mojave County, and um, they're a busy company. And like you said, we ran like 10 to 20 calls a day in a 24-hour period with a transfer most of the time. And our transfers, we had lots of interfacility transfers. But usually our shortest long distance transfer was about 4 hours round trip. Our longest being up to like 16 hours. So it was day after day, and we worked that modified Kelly schedule where we worked 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, and then we had 4 days off. So, I mean, you'd be up bright and early. I think my shift started at 7 and 8 are like the two times I stuck with. So at work at 7, didn't leave till 7. If I was lucky, I got to leave at 7. Half the time we got held over. We'd get held over an hour to 8 hours.
Man.
On top of picking up overtime. I mean, at this time I was making $14 an hour.
Jeez.
So barely afford my 1-bedroom apartment. Just with working normal hours. So it took a toll on you. The in between days weren't days off. They weren't even recovery days. It was you get home and you sleep. And then you get up, maybe you do something, cook yourself dinner, and you go back to sleep.
Right.
It wasn't fun. You basically working 6 days straight. And the calls were always nonstop. And I mean, they ranged from your super critical, hurry up and go, to your, I stubbed my toe at 3 a.m. Like all the memes and all the funny videos you see of people making fun of people who call for stubbing their toe at 3 a.m. They're true. And I think they actually wear on you almost worse than your critical calls. Because like you run you run 18 critical, or you run 18 just. I don't want to downplay the calls. I mean, they're calling because they think they need medical assistant, but 18 calls where you have to educate and be very professional, and you may not think it's a big deal, but they do, and it just really wears on you. And then that 19th call is a GSW or cardiac arrest or a traffic accident with multiple patients critically injured, and it hammers you home. It's rough on the mental health. You get frustrated. You're tired already. You've been up all day. So it really took a toll on my mental health. I became real distant. I became pretty short. Definitely irritable, snappy at times. God bless my partners for putting up with me when I was grumpy. I have one partner who I worked with for a little over a year, and she absolutely was one of the best partners I had, and she put up with all my grumpiness and all my hangry times, and did everything. And she was awesome. She was awesome to work with, and really give her a shout out because she definitely helped keep me from saying stuff at work that I really shouldn't have. So it really wore on me. I started drinking very heavily and started outcasting myself. The times that I did hang out with people, we were at the bar when we got off shift we had a bar just here in town, opened up at 7 a.m. and closed at 10, and we'd be there after shift, and we'd stay till closing. So it was very rough. Sleep wasn't good, hardly sleeping.
We will return after this quick ad break.
The William H. Bill Butler Jr. Foundation is on a mission to honor first responders and support those who serve. We provide scholarships for families who have lost a hero in the line of duty, offer second chances to juvenile offenders who are working to rebuild their future, and help new recruits pursuing careers as first responders. Through generous donations and the sale of merchandise, we're building a community that uplifts, empowers, and creates lasting impact. You can be a part of this mission as well. Visit 8158podcast.com to donate or shop today. Together, we can support those who serve, honor those we've lost, and give hope to those who need it most. Behind every badge is a story, and behind every story is a sacrifice. This is the 8158 podcast, where we honor the lives and legacies of first responders and their families. If our mission speaks to your heart, if these stories move you like they move us, join us on Patreon. For just $5 a month, you'll get ad-free listening, exclusive merchandise, behind-the-scenes content, and video episodes only available to our patrons. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, and you can be a part of it. Support us at patreon.com/8158podcast. Let's continue to share the stories that deserve to be heard.
So basically, you starting to hit the burnout, and you start
Absolutely.
drinking heavily. And so, what were some of the signs that you saw that you felt like you needed to change? What was your bottom?
Well, signs that I needed to change, and signs I wish I would have picked up sooner. The not wanting to go to work day after day. That's a big sign of burnout, where you dread going to work. You dread waking up in the morning to go to work. That's a big sign of burnout. Something I didn't learn for a while. You should enjoy your job. I mean, it may just be a job to you, but you should still be okay with getting up and going to work in the morning. So that was a sign I really wish I would have recognized sooner. Another thing I started doing, I mean, I was drinking every day I was off. I mean, I was drinking a fifth of Jack almost every day I was off. Get home, if I didn't already have a bottle, I mean, I'd stop by the drugstore down the street for me, get a bottle of Jack, and I'd just be drinking it pretty much all day. Drink half the bottle in the morning, sleep it off, and then finish the rest before I go to bed. So that in itself, alcohol does not let your body recover, nor does it let your mind recover. It may numb everything, but it doesn't let you recover. It slows everything down. So you keep doing it, you're just going to feel worse and worse and worse and worse. Started getting the shakes at work. I mean, those detox shakes. Was dehydrated, just feeling like crap every day. And the final like nail in the coffin was I was out with some friends, and we'd been drinking real heavy that night, and I lost it. I had a massive anxiety panic attack, and just it was bad. I remember bits and pieces of it. Don't remember the whole thing, but I remember bits and pieces of it. I remember waking up in the morning and just feeling like absolute crap. The most memorable thing about that panic attack is, so I was out of town. I was up at Flagstaff with some friends, and I was freaking out that I didn't feed my cat, and that I needed to leave to go feed my cat. And it's like 3 a.m. Like I'm going back to town later in the morning, or later the next day. And I'm very good at making sure my cat had food and water if I was going to be gone for more than a day. So, but when you're like that, you're not thinking rationally.
Right.
But that was the turning point. That was the turning point. I called one of my buddies and asked him for the number to the therapist that he had recommended to me, and got the number, and was able to start going to therapy after that.
So your panic attack, other than worrying about your cat, uh, did you have any physical responses to that panic attack, or did you feel like you were going to die at any point, or anything like that?
I didn't feel like I was going to die. I don't remember that. I do remember um, the shooting I had on the 4th of July. It was a 15-year-old who had shot himself, and I distinctively remember just wailing out that I couldn't help him, I couldn't save him. And even today, it breaks my heart because I couldn't do anything really for the kid. So, but I definitely remember like just feeling tense. Like my body was sore when I woke up the next afternoon. I don't know when I woke up, but I was sore. It felt like I'd hit an entire body, just hardcore body workout the next day. I don't even feel like I would think I was that hungover. I think I had some food. I had a greasy burrito and guzzled down a few glasses of water, and I was fine. But the body aches hurt immensely.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I've suffered through many panic attacks myself, and yeah, they put me down, and I feel sore all over. It's like your body is tense.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like I'm going to die because it feels like you're having a heart attack.
Yeah. Fortunately, I didn't have that response, but definitely don't ever want to have something like that happening. again,
No,
and that's
not.
why I sought the help.
Okay. So you would say that this incident with this 15-year-old boy might have been a breaking point for you?
It absolutely was. I mean, it was probably one of my first like calls that I wasn't okay with. I didn't bounce back from. I'd been with the ambulance I'd been an EMT for a little over a year. I mean, I'd ran my fair share of like critical calls, cardiac arrests, some pretty good traffic accidents on the freeway. But this was definitely my first pediatric call. And it was definitely one of, if not the worst pediatric call I've ran so far. I mean, I can remember the day very clearly. 4th of July, I mean, we just celebrated 4th of July, a very actually unusually slow day for us. I think we ran 3 calls. I think all of our ambulances on duty ran a collective 10 calls that day, so very unusual. My last call was climbing through a window to open a door so I could help a little old lady off the ground. She just fallen and needed help up. Nothing big, very easy day. I mean, I was asleep by probably 10, extremely unusual. And no tones had gone off until the call for this GSW went out. And it actually wasn't even my call. But I'd gotten up, my partner was already up, and we're like, yeah, we'll take it. Not a problem at all. So we went and took it. And we're running lights without sirens. I mean, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. So just going down the freeway, going down 66, and I mean, I'm not hauling butt, but going a little quicker than probably guidelines said. I think I was going 70 and a 55, but just I was a little excited because I was like, heck yeah, my first gunshot wound. Like, see what it's all about. And then we got the report that it was a 15-year-old and with a gunshot wound to the head, and everything changed. Everything just turned upside down. That's when the adrenaline really got going, and the dread I felt as well. But we'd gotten on scene. I positioned the rig. I got out. We moved. We were on scene for probably 5 minutes. The fire department was on scene prior to us, so they'd packaged the patient. All we had to do was lift him up on the gurney. Got him on the gurney, took him to the hospital, and that drive is actually a blur. I don't remember a whole lot of that drive. I do remember my partner saying, just remember code 3 is just code 2 with lights and sirens on. So, which calmed me down a little bit. Didn't throw them around in the back nearly as much as I probably could have.
Yeah.
But we get to the hospital, we get the patient in the trauma room. I step out with the gurney to start cleaning and all that. But instead of cleaning, I put the gurney in our breezeway, and I went back outside the room, just kind of observing, feeling a lot of emotions, feeling sadness, feeling anger, feeling just grief, I guess. And we had to hang around the hospital for a while. So they brought all all the patient's clothes out, and they had found notes in the patient's pockets. And these notes, I believe there were 4 notes, and 3 of the notes were to mom and siblings, and then one of the notes was to dad or boyfriend of the mom or stepdad. I'm not exactly sure what the relationship was, but all 3 notes to mom and the siblings were very kind, very much so, this isn't your fault, like this just needs to happen, I'm tired of this type of stuff. But the note to the dad was very much, this is your fault, you're the one who drove me to do this, and XYZ. So it really made me angry. And I don't know the family dynamic. I mean, the kid, he was a good looking kid. You could tell that his hair was well taken care of. He had I think some African American in him, so he had that like real curly, voluminous hair, like a low afro almost.
Yeah.
But you could tell it was taken care of. Kid was dressed in real nice clothes. On scene, he had earbuds in his ear that were of good quality, so he was taken care of. But my mind immediately went to like emotional trauma and emotional abuse that this kid endured. Maybe physical, I don't know. But it just made me angry because I've always been taught that you take care of kids, you take care of the ones that you're supposed to be watching over.
Yes.
So after that, I went out and sat on the tailgate of the ambulance. I put in a chew, and then one of my coworkers came up and offered me a cigarette, and I smoked that as well. But definitely, I didn't know how to process these emotions. I did have my supervisor showed up, and the supervisor is the same one that talked to me about therapy just before I had my panic attack and recommended it to me and all that. He was a pretty decent supervisor, great guy, great medic, and he actually took me off the truck for the rest of the night. He got in trouble for taking me off the truck and putting our truck out of service for the rest of the night. And I think we got back to the station about 4 a.m, and I just passed out. After we'd cleaned everything up, I passed out, and no one woke me up until it was like 10 o'clock in the morning before I woke up. And I mean, other shift had already come in, and everyone had already done crew swap and everything. So it's kind of weird, but definitely what I needed at the time. I didn't think so, because I told him, I was like, I want to stay on the truck. Let me just run my calls. That's all I really want to do. But definitely what I needed. So I really appreciate what he did for me.
Mm-hmm. So you felt like your leadership responded well to you in that incident? Because I understand that you had experienced a series of critical calls after that.
Yeah. So it seemed like after that one, the calls just kept racking up. I mean, cardiac arrests, gunshot wounds, and just kept going. And unfortunately, the supervisor that took me off the truck, he'd stepped down from the supervisor position. A new one was put in. And I don't feel like we got the support that we had with our previous supervisor. I'm not going to say the supervisor was bad by any means, but he was much more inclined to do what his supervisors told him to do.
Right.
So I do want to say that my field supervisors, at least for the shifts that I worked on, that I was assigned to, always did a pretty good job. Tried to be there for us. They did try. Unfortunately, their hands were just tied. It was the upper management, the ones sitting behind a desk, all the way up to the top of our company, that didn't seem like they cared at all. So, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many critical calls I ran, and this is all the time leading up to my anxiety attack. Mm-hmm. So this is when the drinking really started and really got bad, and I just wasn't getting the support. None of us were getting the support. I mean, I was still picking up the overtime I didn't want to pick up, and it was almost dreadful to pick, or it wasn't almost, it was dreadful to pick up overtime, because other supervisors on other shifts they weren't as caring. They definitely weren't as caring. I mean, one of the supervisors who'd been a medic for 20 years, I mean, since I was in diapers at the time. And he didn't care. He was burnt out. He was just there for a paycheck. Other supervisor, I don't think they really cared about anyone but themselves. So even ran critical calls on my overtime shifts, there was no support from supervisors. And it was really rough, really just not a good time. And I wasn't the only one who felt it. A lot of others felt it. I think I probably one of the ones who reacted in the worst way, with the drinking and just being kind of a dick at work and all that good stuff. So definitely a lot there.
Okay. So it was that toxic leadership and the previous traumas is what kind of caused you to kind of go downhill from there?
I think so. And truthfully, I think it was the toxic leadership that was worse than the trauma calls or traumatic calls. I now have a support system at work. I mean, we run a simple cardiac arrest. We could run a cardiac arrest on a 80-year-old guy who you can tell lived a good life, whose family was there expecting it. But we still work it, and my battalion chief will make sure to pull each of us aside and just make sure that we're good. If we need anything, and just really, really takes care of us. All of our battalion chiefs, doesn't matter if I'm working on A shift, B shift, or C shift, they all take care of us. Yeah. So the leadership, I think, is a huge, huge, huge part in the mental health for this job, this field. I mean, your subordinates should be able to go to you and say, "Hey, I'm not doing well," or "Hey, I need to go home," or "Hey, I need to reach out for help," or "I need help," without criticism, without being made feel like that they are lesser of an employee, a bad employee. Happened all the time on the ambulance. You call off a shift for whatever reason, whether you were sick, your dog died, your dad died, it didn't really matter. You had the supervisors that just made you feel like an absolute horrible human being for not being there. And it just weighs on you. It just keeps weighing on you. Throw in the calls that you run, the traumatic calls that you see, along with just being dog tired all the time. It becomes a breaking point. I mean, the turnover rate at this company is unfortunate. It seems like every time I run a call with this ambulance company at my fire department, I'm always seeing new people. And it's always these 19, 20, 21-year-old kids who haven't a clue in the world what this job is actually about, and no real life experience, that they either find out real quick that they need to either tough it out, or that they need to go a different direction. And it's super unfortunate. And it's even more unfortunate when you want to be change at this place. It's unfortunate if you want to be the change in any department, any company, whether it be the EMS field or a regular 9 to 5 job, where you try and be this change and you try and help others, and you kind of get looked down on, or you just keep getting told no, or just the leadership is so resistant to change that you can't do anything about it, and that weighs on yourself as well.
Right. So, in your own words, how important is it for you, for your leaders, to actually check in with you, like not just in a debrief after a call, but actually check in on you? Was there anything missing in those moments?
Absolutely. On the ambulance, there are absolutely moments with that. I mean, we hardly ever got a debrief. Sometimes we had crisis intervention teams that we go, but those work. I think those work if you're not truly affected. Like, maybe, oh yeah, it's sad. I'm feeling some sort of way. Maybe I'll go to this and kind of hear everyone, and then the crisis interventions, the people running the group give you that, hey, you guys did a good job, and all this, like, they make you feel better about what you did.
Mm-hmm.
But debriefs are definitely important on any critical call, and the stipulation for a critical call is what you think is a critical call. What you think might affect someone. If you think it might be affecting someone, I think a debrief is, at minimum, a good, appropriate choice. But it also stems farther from a debrief. I mean, one-on-ones, pulling your crew one by one into your office and just going over it with them and talking to them and just checking to make sure that they're doing all right. My battalion chief now, I mean, in the middle of my 4-day, they'll text me, "Hey man, you doing all right?" And I can't tell you how much that means to me.
Yeah.
So I had my field supervisors on the ambulance. They check in every once in a while, but again, it's those it's really that one-on-one, that, hey, I'm here for you. Hey, I want to help you. And it also comes down to, hey, you need help. We are getting you help. You don't really have a choice. Whether it be or they help you find a therapist, whether it be they take you out golfing, whether it be anything. But the recognition and the looking out for your crews and being there for your crews is extremely important. And I think a lot of places just lack in that.
Right.
And maybe it's just not something that I don't think it's all of their fault. I think there's a big disconnect in the generation that we're in. I mean, you got these 20-year-old salty medics who just suck it up, buttercup. And you got these brand new EMT paramedics who have seen the culture change and this push for mental health and the help and the being there for your guys. So it's just kind of, it's a weird time right now to see it. But I do think that all departments and all companies should be really checking on their guys more and just being there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You need to have more support from your superiors, your supervisors. They're supposed to be your leaders, and they're supposed to lead by example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, moving on to mental health and a turning point, you'd mentioned you had put a gun to your head, but you didn't pull the trigger. That must have been a powerful and painful moment. So, what stopped you from doing that?
Man, I don't think I got one answer for what stopped me. I don't think I have really an answer for what stopped me because I don't know. I mean, I had just gotten home. I don't even know what I was doing. I don't think I'd gotten home from work. But I had just gotten back to my apartment and was sitting in my car just with the radio playing and decided that it was time. So I put the gun to my head. I mean, I held it there, and I don't even know how long passed. And it was, I mean, it was probably fairly later in the evening, because it was dark outside. But I think probably September, October, so not super late, but late enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sat there, put the gun to my head, sat there with it to my head, and then I put it down and just kind of sat there. Whether it have been me thinking about my family, I mean, think about my mom, my sisters, whether it be me thinking about work, like I still got people to help, or just maybe I wasn't strong enough to do it. It doesn't really cross my mind of why I did it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter why I didn't do it. Bottom line is I didn't do it. So I'm able to be here talking to you today. I'm able to go to work tomorrow, and I still get to help others. Definitely a turning point. Kind of a realization that I needed help, but I was still stubborn and didn't go get help. Why, I don't know. I do know that after that, I went inside and I went to bed and I slept. I was woken up the next morning by a phone call from work saying, "Hey, you're supposed to be here." I said, "Hey, I'm not coming in." And that was that. And I slept for like 30 hours or something. I went right back to sleep and I slept. I slept hard. Probably the first time in a long time that I'd actually slept and felt like I slept. And when I woke up, basically it was well, that sucked. Let's not do that again. And went about my business, went about my day. I think I probably slowed down on the drinking a little bit. And I'd never really told anyone. Actually, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone that I'd done this until I got married. And I think before now, I talked to 3 people about it. Talked to my therapist, my wife, and a coworker about it. So it's definitely something that I kind of blocked out, but definitely something that needs to be talked about.
Right.
And to anyone who's feeling that type of way, it's just not worth it. You have more days to go and more people to help, more people to save. Um, so it just definitely a turning point, but not the turning point that it should have been, unfortunately.
Right. Well, I'm certainly glad that you didn't, take your own life. Um, because it's just sad for for everybody, for the departments and for your family and the people around you. The cause and
Yeah,
effect. I mean, it's sad, and we hear a lot of suicides and stuff like that, not just from fire and EMS, but from police officers and military veterans and stuff like that. And it's
yeah. You can throw nurses in that group too. So
yeah, they have a hard job too.
absolutely.
It's unfortunate. Um, Thank you for joining us on 8158 Stories of Sacrifice. Every story we share is a tribute to the courage and resilience of first responders and their families. If this episode impacted, encouraged, or inspired you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who supports first responders. Follow us on all social media platforms at 8158 Podcast for updates. 8158 Stories of Sacrifice is a team effort. Rico brings the stories to life through casting, writing, original music, and editing. Brianne Shipley as production manager, handling booking, social media, graphics, promotion, marketing, website management, and logo design. Please visit our website at 8158podcast.com. For questions, collaborations, or to share your story, our email address is contactus@8158podcast.com. Until next time, let's continue to honor the legacies and remember the sacrifices of those who serve, every brave man and woman on the front lines, protecting and defending us all. This is Rico signing off and honoring 8158.